hear us or not. And I'm pretty sure it's Spam Banshee. Pretty sure it's my wife. Was it her?
No, Jet's here, and Motorcycle Dork is here.
Motorcycle Dork. Okay, can you hear me, sweetie? Now they can hear us. Okay, everybody, hold your pants. Here we go. We're gonna start again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Fracking the Hoard. Sorry, we were actually just discussing how many technical difficulties we're gonna actually have on this show, and our first one was not having any sound. So now, welcome to Fracking the Hoard. And I am Primo Kimo. And over here to that side, I hope he's over there, that's HayfroSells, YouTube's own. And we are really excited to be here today to discuss in a live, have a little back and forth about eBay reselling, life, whatnot. Not whatnot,
Well,
but
we always have these conversations, and we're always like, man, we should just do a live. Just, talk about anything, everything, have some fun, because you know what? Reselling is not fun right now, right?
It's not ideal. It's changed a lot, and as of Tuesday, we kind of found out, or what day? The 7th? What was that, Tuesday? Is that Tuesday?
Tuesday, was the reaction.
And we basically found out, and we first of all like to thank Josh Galt for the rundown that he did about the earnings from eBay. And the bottom line is they're not changing anything. They're doing great. They're gouging us for the ad fees, and it's up to us to figure out tips or to figure out tricks and try to muddle our way through it. As I have been doing the nuclear resetting my store 1,800 items every single day, and as of yesterday, I don't know if I want to mess around trying to show my numbers right now, because I'll probably kick us off the internet somehow. But I turned my promotions down to 2% because I was getting so much traffic in organics and off-site, whatever that other metric is, the purple. It's neither organic nor advertising. It's however you get all those page views. I have turned down my advertising to 2.5%. So right now,
move.
It is right now, as of the first 2 days that I have any feedback on that from my analytics, it's showing that it's not affecting anything, because this means nothing to you, but my ad green was about that big. My organic was about that big. And then the third one was about that big. So the ads are just the tip anyway. So I'm just gonna make the tip less tippy.
So how long do you think?
Oops, you're breaking up a little bit. Maybe I'm playing too much noise. Try again.
How long do you think you can keep up doing the full nuclear? I'm just curious.
Well, it takes me about a half hour to do it in the morning, so time is not that bad. The question is, I mentioned this to you yesterday. I actually got a comment, not a comment, a question, a message on eBay, and it was from another seller who is in San Francisco, and he sells similar Apple computer manuals, vintage ones. And he asked me specifically, he said, hey, just a random question. I noticed that you're relisting your stuff all the time, and it's clogging up my, in the morning you get if you have anything in your watch list, it'll send you sort of the new items that come up every day. And he says I'm flooding his feed or whatnot with my items that I'm relisting every day. So that is the first thing that kind of got in my way, saying, oh, there's some other, this is
repercussions.
Yeah. I don't know if everyone starts doing it, eBay is going to do something about it. If it's too annoying and people are, eBay customers are sending me messages, they may, I don't know what happens. Does eBay then get mad at me for doing it? I really don't know. So I can do it as long as I'm not going to get in trouble for it.
We are in unknown territory as far as trying to do anything and everything to generate sales, and it's an unfortunate and sad environment that we're in. It's incredibly frustrating. I don't really want to have to do this like forever. Like
They promised
but
us, they sort of promised us, at least when I hear people who have uh, been paying attention. It maybe, I think Josh Galt is the person I refer to pay the most attention to things and then say it in a way that I understand, because he did say, somebody imparted upon to him, that if we stay with it, it'll be okay. Everything's going to work out. Now, I don't know, what does that mean? Does that mean that our page views are going to go back up? Or does that mean you're going to quit? That's how it's going to work out. We're going to annoy you so bad that you leave. I don't know.
so 6B6 in the comment section wanted to know how your sales correlated with the nuclear.
Yes, thank you very much. I probably should open up my chat. And oh my gosh, there's a lot of people in there. Thank you very much. The sales are up. So if you're looking at the number of sales are up. My general, I was down 60%. My numbers are saying I'm up 20. So I'm down 40% from June when everything went bad. It's hard to say exactly, where I'm really at right now because of the new normal or whatnot, but I'm making about 20% more dollars
Since doing it.
But I did it at the end of October. So is that just November? On November 4th, I think they took that. I imagine the big, on the airplanes, and they got the big throttle thing. I feel like they did that a little bit on November 4th. They kind of throttled us up a little bit, started dumping a few more items. I don't know if they can control it that much. I think so.
So essentially, also the seasonality we need to factor in, and we need to factor in what you just said, because I feel like on Saturday things did seem to open up as well. Impression went through the roof. I don't know what that means. I don't really know how much we can trust impressions at this point. They tend to backfill impressions as well, and it if anything, it just creates this distrust of the information in the back office.
Yeah, I have always questioned. In fact, I haven't really even been a big analytics fan until I had to be. So I never looked at my analytics when stuff was flying off the shelf. It wasn't important.
Exactly. And we didn't have time.
No, I was too busy shipping stuff. So it is definitely an interesting time. What's good? Tell him to quit stocking and sell his own stuff. I don't know exactly. What's that? I don't know if they caught that.
Tell him to buy it all.
Oh, yes, right. Oh, that's that guy. Okay. I agree. Buy it all, please, guy. And then you'll have no competition from me.
The only repercussion I've had with doing the reset is that somebody, and this isn't even a repercussion, somebody was following something, and then I deleted it or ended it and sold it similar, and then they messaged me and they're like, hey, is this still available? And I'm like, yeah, here's the link.
When I do the relist, I do not end anything has a offer out on it. So I actually have to go through 1,700 items. I've developed the system where you pull over one window that has your items that have offers out. Then you have your main window, which has the items that you're going to end and sell similar. And then you use Control F if you're using a PC, which is find. It just pulls up a find window. And then and then you can type in, if it's a Rita Marley 45, you just type in Rita. It'll see if it's on that page of 200. So it's not as meticulous as what's the word? It's not as harsh as it seems.
Tedious.
It's not as tedious. If you have 52 items, you probably are going to type 52 words into the find as you're doing ending and selling similar 1,800 items. That's the fastest way to do it. And I do see also, am I listing consistency or just boosting the old? And because we had this COVID scare, Bridget has not had access to her full computer, but she has iPad upstairs where she's been entering. So we have about 350, almost 400 items ready to be listed. But no, we have not listed anything in 3 weeks. So during the entire reset, we have not relisted a single new item. It's just, which is a good. I didn't mean to do that, but it kind of is a good control thing.
Wow, you haven't. I mean, my listing has gone way down because I've been so busy recently. Like, and it's not even just with eBay. YouTube has been busy. We're spending more time doing the reset, and I used to try to keep my watchers, but at the same time, I don't want. It's already tedious enough doing the reset, and
You've got double the items I do. So I mean, I happen to be right. Maybe just in sweet spots all around where I can do this.
You're in a sweet spot.
I know.
I'm under 4,000 on my one store for the first time since COVID.
And that, but you have stuff to list. It's just the time.
If I could not buy anything for 6 months, and I would be fine.
Yeah, I'm estimating about 3 years with the pile, with the large pile. Oh, that's what's behind us. I didn't have time to get a proper image for the background. It was just an image I had. That's the death pile, if you were wondering why we have bones behind us.
Oh man, that's awesome. I didn't even notice it, but I love the goth feel of it.
It was actually another non-intentional thing. I'm just so happy that we're actually talking to each other. We can hear each other, and now other people can hear us too. So that's.
Yeah. So 6B, I believe Primo and I both have watched Josh Galt's video yesterday. Was there a specific question?
Hey, what was yesterday? He was talking about was
Earnings.
yesterday the recap. Yeah, it was the recap video yesterday, and yeah, he was basically saying we're on our own. eBay is making their money, which they should. It again was on the backs of the sellers. The ad. I wish you guys would stop ad. I wish this reset worked so well that we could all stop ad revenue. But then the only people doing that would be the people who were watching YouTube. Because imagine most eBay sellers don't watch YouTube probably. So they're not getting all the good information.
Well, I was at a comic convention a couple weeks ago, and it's a small community. I've got quite a few friends in there, and many of them also sell online. And I was asking them, do you promote? What are your sales like? And this is a small sample size, maybe 5 or 6 people, and all of them across the board were basically saying that their sales are down, but they were kind of just blaming it on the economy because I don't think any of them watched YouTube. And then I explained to a couple of them kind of like really what was going on. And one of them, who was a good friend of mine, I explained to him about the reset, and he did it. And I also told him that, many of them were not promoting, or at the bare minimum, just because, comic people are pretty cheap. And they don't want to give away any money that they don't have to. And I don't blame them for that. But I just think that it's hard to believe knowing what we know, but there are a lot of sellers out there who don't really understand Promote It or don't even consider it an option.
Well, maybe that's the difference between a full-time seller and a part-time seller, because, I mean, if you're reliant on this as your income, it's pretty important. I mean, it has been for a while. And again, back in June, when we turned on dynamic and just let eBay just decide how much to charge us, essentially, that's when stuff was waterfalling out of my, I mean, it was just, I couldn't keep up almost with the amount of items sold. So I feel like the ads did something at the beginning, and if you were paying attention and you used them, you saw a benefit from them that then it stopped working. But some people were in April, some people were in June, so I'm not sure how to.
So you turned off dynamic because you saw your sales slow.
I turned no. What I guess, yeah, right. I wasn't very clear on that. So in June, when did they roll out dynamic? When they roll out ads? Was it this year or last year?
You mean promoted listings
Promoted
in
listings.
general?
Yes.
It's been like 6 years.
No. Has it?
It has. Well, yeah, but
Oh.
but they never really, they upped it the minimum to 2%. I want to say like a year and a half ago, and I feel like that's when everything changed.
Okay, I gotta look on the internet. When did
It was like
eBay
2018, I think.
start promoted listings? It's
Anybody
I just
at
can't remember that. I don't remember it being that long long ago. I don't see them anything answering that specific question. Oh, 221. Introduced in 2015. Oh, you looked, you cheated. You actually looked
No,
at
I
the
didn't.
facts. Promoted listings let eBay sellers pay a percentage of sales. So I did not know about them until last year. Let's put it that way. I'm going to
Okay.
say I woke up from a dream and last
You
year.
woke up a full-time reseller and was
Yes.
like, holy man, I need to sell stuff.
Well, you know, my wife had a real job up until the pandemic. And 2 weeks after the world closed down, they canned her whole job and didn't bring anybody back. So she was just like, and I'm like, you're done with that whole world. I've been waiting for you to have a reason to join me and basically do all the pictures and listings so I don't have to. That's what you're doing now. And she was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And I was like, uh-oh, did I just wish for too much? Now I got two mouths to feed. So it became very serious. The pandemic did, you know, we became full-time eBay sellers and resellers. So I don't sell stuff. Resellers, or as they say,
Ladies and gentlemen.
I just like that.
I love the noise effects.
I think we need a little applause.
I love how it spins things, like it lets sellers do that. Or did you catch how apparently the poll that eBay did for promoted listings, that 80% of the resellers love promoted
Where
listings?
was this
like,
poll?
Somebody asked, I believe it was Jamie on the conference call, the earnings call, and about promoted listings, and apparently eBay thinks that we users love promoted listings.
Well, I gotta say that I'm out of the loop because no one ever allowed me to vote on that. But I also didn't know they've been around since 2015. That's really, really hard to believe. I know it's true, but I only heard about it, I think, when they did the dynamic. That was
It's a Mandela effect.
Yeah, because I would have been miserable for much longer had I know I needed to promote listings. But you didn't need them until April or June of this year.
In fact, I feel that when did they up the minimum threshold to 2%?
I do remember them doing that. And that's been just guessing within the last year. Because
I believe that when they did that, that was when they started implementing and planning everything that they've done since then. I believe that's when they kicked it up. Because like you said, when I promoted at 1%, and I only did 1% for the longest time, because I just felt like everything that I did, markdown sales, send offers, and you know, I just wanted to have an active store. So that was why I only did 1%. But then when they kicked it up to 2%, I felt like, I felt like sales started to slow down, and I felt this shift in the entire eBay platform then. But then things really shifted in April.
Well, they do. They have that big, that big throttle, like in a 747, and I know that they can manipulate it, and they have, because they had to slow down our sales by 50% in order to then charge us for them. So
yeah, make it. Yeah, I agree. I don't. So I want to go back to when you were using dynamic. What caused you to stop?
So we were on vacation. So it was the end of June, and we went away for a week, just about a week. Well, actually, it was 3 weekdays and a weekend, and then we were back on the Monday. And up to then, I was like in vacation mode where I wanted as much money as possible so I could go have fun. So I started just listing like a maniac, and we turned on like maybe the first week of June, turned on those ads. Sales were coming in. Or, I'm sorry, we turned on dynamic ads. So, and they were deciding, and it was like 15% or something, or 18%. It was huge. But we were like, we just want the money to go on the vacation. So for about 2 weeks, we sold stuff, and then we had to go. And we had to decide, and I decided not to turn off the store, not to do anything. But it was the end of June, so it was like the 23rd. So the last week of June is when we went away. This is when they made their push for Q2, right? So they jacked up the dynamic listings so that I was paying 18, even 20% in some cases, but the sales were flowing. And the second we left town, when I got back on that Monday, I had 30, 35, 40, I don't even know, a whole bunch of things to send. And it was too much almost. So we turned it off. And it never turned back on. We turned it off on June 30th, maybe. And by July 4th, crickets. So
but you
turned it back on.
turned it off, and then you didn't think to turn it back on.
Not until we literally got crickets. We went from the spigot being open, dynamic listing, our sales cost went up 10%. And instead of being in the 15, 16, 17%, somewhere around there, it was in the 25, 26%. So yeah, I didn't even think to turn it back on. I didn't know that. Apparently I didn't know a lot about this ad stuff because I do it, but wasn't really thinking about it. When the dynamics came out, I was like, I don't want to do that. And I know they don't know better, and I know they're going to reach deeper in my pocket if I allow them to do this, but also I want to go on vacation. So I took the risk.
So something that is popping into my head that I don't really think anybody talks about is, let's say you have a store and you run dynamic, and you know how, like, in everybody's store you have really good items, and then you have like maybe not as good items, and then maybe you have like your lower tier items. If you think about it, if you run a dynamic promoted campaign for, I don't know, X amount of weeks or months, it could be that a lot of your really, really good stuff sells, and you're making less money on that really good stuff, and eBay is making extra money on that. And then you're left with what's in your store, you're not as good stuff. And that sucks if you think about it.
Well, yes, that does suck. Yeah, it does when your good stuff sells and your junk doesn't. But at the same time, I expect that. So I do a lot of buying of collections. So if I bought 2045s, they're really good 45s, but some of them were hot. So there was like some Elvis stuff and some, this guy was a DJ. I think I talked to you about that, a WAAP DJ named Chip Hobart. And he is credited with discovering Bon Jovi because he heard Runaway, and he heard it early, and he was the first person to play Runaway on commercial radio. And even Bon Jovi, when he got accepted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, talked about this guy. So anyway, he passed away in Richmond, Vermont, and I still have a lot of his records. And of course, the hot records, the really collectible ones, just flew out, and then the lesser ones are still there, but they go. I don't know which ones are going to be the stragglers. I feel like they all are. But Josh Galt said he listed a whole bunch of 8-tracks. I think he says he made a mistake because he spent a lot of time listing all the 8-tracks instead of just the good ones. And so I feel like that's what I do, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I expect the good stuff to sell first, but yeah. What I don't want my good stuff to sell at a dynamic promoted.
Yeah, that happened to me. And not only that, like 2 of the items, I was saving these CD players that were new in the box, but from the 80s. And two of them, one was a tape player, one was a CD player. Sorry. The tape player went out to the person. It was beautiful Sony ES wood sides tape player. The guy said it didn't work, and he sent it back to me. He had like twisted the heads. He had jammed something into it, like broke the little slider that the tape slides in. He had abused the item, and then sent it back to me. So I got extra gouged on the promoted listing. Then I only gave him half his money back because he actually ruined the tape deck. So I guess I kept a little bit of the money, but in the end, I have the tape deck, a broken tape deck over here. They got their money because I only gave them back half of the money, and I didn't realize you don't get your ad fees back.
Really?
If you don't give them the full amount.
See, I don't do returns, so I don't understand that world. But also,
you do returns, right? I mean, you do. I said do. You do returns on eBay. I mean, everyone does. If they say if it's an item not as described, they will force you to take it back.
But generally, so my business model is, I buy stuff cheap, and I sell it higher. And a lot of my stuff, I just sell a lot of bread and butter stuff, and a lot of times, and I've been very fortunate that I haven't had a lot of people ever file item not as received. And that's actually very difficult. You sell comics, you know how particular people are with comics.
And you grade them too. You grade them, which is...
I do. And in the event that people are unhappy, 99% of the time, I just refund them, tell them to keep it. I don't want it back. I don't want to deal with it. I'm out to shipping and handling and a very low cost in general. So again, I can count on one hand in 12 years how many times I've ever received something back. That's just me. That's my business model. It works for me. Couldn't you dispute it with eBay saying that they didn't return it in the state that
I did. That's how I could only. That's why I could refund them half of it. I had to refund them half.
Half does not make up for the fact that you can't resell that for half of what you paid. You sold it for.
I could probably go through a case. I might go through a case, but I might at the end of that case have to refund them the whole amount. So
and you might lose.
And I might lose, yeah. So I don't even want to take that risk. But I mean, I took pictures, I took videos before I sent the item. I do things like that. So to make sure that if somebody does return it, I can at least show how it went out. My returns are way under 2%. They're like 1%. So you don't get many returns ever, and I offer 30 days free returns. So add to the insult to injury, I paid for him to send back the tape player. So eBay gouged me at maybe 20%. They had a 12.5% final value fees. I had to pay for the return shipping. This is a particular nightmare story, and it being one of my worst nightmare stories, it's not much of a nightmare. So
no. And those ones really stand out.
Does anybody out there need a tape deck? I got a tape deck over here. It's cheap. So I don't mind. I do everything I do all the bells and whistles to try to keep my account top rated and all those things that may or may not be important, but I have considered important as a metric of my my customer service and everything. That's really what it is, customer service. I want to provide good customer service. It's kind of fun.
Well, it's what we do, and I've really upped my own customer service game a little bit. We got to do what we got to do to keep them coming back.
But you don't. I know you don't have to do. I don't know what is going to become of dynamic promoted listings. I don't think anyone should really have dynamic promoted. I can't say that for anybody, but having dynamic promoted listings on with no cap, I think is insanity. And I'm wondering if they really actually polled eBay sellers, or did they just say that 80% of eBay sellers use promoted listings? Like, how did they even come up with that number saying 80%? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know. They're very vague. Just like they said that they have relationships with influencers.
Yeah,
Like,
that's interesting.
like who?
I know. Oh, 6B says he's just saying that eBay is doing, and I agree with this. This is a good statement that he's saying. Conversation for another day, but they're making good flow above board and ensuring longevity by buying their stock back. I don't have any stock, so it doesn't make me feel anything except for I am happy that they're doing what it takes to keep the platform going for a while, because I don't, like Josh Galt said, I don't have a plan B right now at all. What about you? I've heard you talking about some diversifications.
My plan B right now is YouTube and local sales, and I'm gonna start building something on District now. I kind of been mulling over wanting to cross list on some level. I like what they're doing, and I'm gonna give that a shot and see what happens. Obviously, they're in the infant phases, but I don't wanna not do it, and in 2 years feel like, oh, maybe maybe I missed that boat.
Yeah, I mean that's true. My concern always with cross listing was just the simple double selling things, but.
Well, I'm thinking, so yeah, this is something that I've been thinking about. In fact, it's funny you should say that, because the very one item that I've listed on District right now just sold on eBay. How funny is that?
That's awesome.
No, as we're talking, I got a sale. So maybe this is a new hack. Do a live stream, get a sale.
Or maybe they're watching District. eBay they said, turn the switch on in that one item. Switch, you can sell it now.
Maybe.
I mean, I also, that also just reminds me of how I'm always devil's advocate to myself. And I'm like, they've got this very complicated algorithm and everything. But honestly, an algorithm is nothing but if-then statements written by humans. So it's just millions of them, so that is it really, how can I say, how do I explain this? eBay's algorithm seems very sophisticated, but what if it really isn't? It really isn't that sophisticated. And then I go down the road of maybe the reasons why our sales slowed down is because they just split up the United States into sections. And then the people who are selling the same things that I am in California now sell to Californians, and I sell to the East Coast, even though I'd prefer to sell to California because they pay more. But you threw the big wrench in my works and saying, what if they did that, but they did it for carbon footprint kind of a thing? And either way, it's sort of a question of really how sophisticated is eBay? Are they just trying to make room for more people to sell on the platform, therefore driving our sales down? Not really sure that has anything to do with what we're talking about, but it came up in my brain.
I mean, I woke up, like I said, I had 3 orders when I woke up, and one of them was going to California, one of them was going to Florida. I can't say that I've seen that, but I sell so many different items. Yeah. Like I'm a true everything seller. So I just think, and I sell a lot of unique items as well.
Well, this, specifically, I'm talking about the Apple computer manuals, which always up until this year, they all go to California. My old Apple computers all go to California. But I wonder if my phone's going to die soon. I probably should plug it in. So the people, the target audience is in California. So my sales for Apple computer monitors has slowed down. That's really the only reason I'm even questioning this.
So Jack makes a good point about District and cross listing. He says if he's at his peak on eBay currently, and that peak is 30 to 40% off of where I was before. So let's just say 40%, because that's where you're about 40% off
now. Yeah.
he'll just cross list, and then he'll find the peaks on whatever platforms he decide. I know he's looking in a district. I know he posts on Mercari as well, and he's finally starting to see some traction on Mercari. But I feel that people are already leaving or going out vertically with cross listing now. So it's going to be interesting in 6 to 9 months. You know, people can only take so much of what we're experiencing on eBay. Now, what if it's another 6 to 9 more months of what we've been seeing on eBay? It's going to hurt a lot of sellers, and we're already seeing an exodus, and we're going to see more people leaving.
Well, is that a benefit to the people who stay? I mean,
no, it's not, and here's why. And this is something that Jeff and I we were talking about, and how he actually wants more competition on eBay, because the more sellers that are on there, the more buyers that will come to the platform. And it spreads out the expense, right? Like, imagine if there was half of the amount of sellers that were on the platform right now. Imagine it. You might sound like, oh, that would be so amazing, but do you think eBay would only be charging you what they're charging you now, or do you think they would probably up their fees even more to make up for those losses that it's losing? It works in reverse. If there's less sellers, there's less buyers. If there's less buyers, there will be more than less sellers than there was. That's why when Jamie says they're not even doing anything right now, they don't even have any plans to go out and bring more buyers, that is extremely concerning.
Jet Fixer says, yeah, we need everyone. And I do understand that, because eBay is the biggest marketplace. So in order to maintain that, you do need the sellers. Okay. So can I, do you mind if I jump on the quality seller, quality product, higher value items? Like, cause this will be a big jump, but I did want to talk about that today.
Yeah. You do whatever. We don't have a script here, bro.
Obviously. I'm pretty sure people can tell that. I believe, no, I don't know. It might be too much to talk about. What Jamie ends up selling in the quarter as a CEO is golden parachute bigger. Yes, that's true. Use Josh's analogy with mall example. What's that? With the mall example? Is that, trying to think of what that's referring to. If you're in the mall. Yeah, actually, that does sound familiar now that I'm saying it to myself. That the mall brings the people, brings all the boys to the yard. And then, so you need more sellers there to bring the people with the wallets. I think that's what's...
We need more sellers, and we need more buyers, bottom line.
And I don't think, I'll just touch on that, I don't think that it's necessarily... there is something about low quality items that are cheap. And then there's something about, that was the tangent, about eBay wants to just sell shoes and sneakers. I don't believe so. I believe you have to have price points all over the map. I think when eBay says they want to get rid of low quality merchandise, maybe.
You know what? I wish they would define what low is.
Well, you explain to me, because we talk about one of my favorite YouTubers is James, My Boring Reseller Life, and his whole business model is low price, lots and lots of volume of low price items. And I wonder often, and I don't think it's his items per se, because he has a model, but I think his model's been squashed in it. But all of our models have been squashed, sort of. And I'm wondering if you have higher quality items at lower prices, if that's also what they're trying to squash, which I don't think it is, because
Higher. No, because they want to make more money, right? They want to make more money on those.
which is, again, it kind of ties in with having, needing more sellers selling more items of all different proportions to make the marketplace robust. So I think that I'm just worried about
Jack and I, we were talking about he was thinking that when he lowers his prices,
Right.
he actually does worse.
Okay. And that goes onto my nuclear reset. Every time I do the nuclear reset, I lower the price by 1%. And then
But were you running a markdown sale on those items, though?
I haven't been running. I haven't run any sales in a long time.
Okay.
Okay. So I am lowering it, thinking because I do price my items higher. I often have been selling my items. Generally speaking, when I sell an item, especially an item that is not, well, go look at Maggot Brain by Funkadelic right now on eBay. I have the highest sale price for a used copy. So my tendency, I try to be the highest price in my category, or in the so if it's a used CD of a particular title, I want to get the most out of anybody. So I do try to do that.
Wait, what is Maggot Brain?
Sorry, it's an album by Funkadelic.
Okay.
And I sold that this morning. Did I finish my statement that I lower it for 5 days by 1%, and then I jack it back up on the 5th day 5%? So I never really I lower it for a little bit, but then it goes right back up, and I kind of.
I like that.
But I feel like if you're going to relist your stuff and then sell similar, sorry, not relist, you have to do something you have to do something to it to make it slightly different, and that's what I do is just 200 at a time. I change the price because that's an easy buy it now price thing to change.
Mm-hmm.
What you
because
said
when I do the reset, my stuff is generally on sale. So that was one thing that I noticed the first time I did it, because I had all my stuff at 15% off, and then when I did my first reset, I was selling items, and I'm just like, dude, these people are paying 15% higher than they were. Like, it's clearly a visibility thing.
It is a visibility thing. They do you remember me telling you about if you go to create an ad, I guess I just put it in a video, but it was stuck behind my head. You couldn't really see it. If you have if you go in and make an ad, and you do a simple ad dynamic, that's what I do, and then put a cap on that dynamic. So I don't use the simple fixed ad or whatever. And it looks like I'm freezing a little bit. When you do that, over to the right side is a wheel, like a half a wheel thing, and it's kind of a meter, and it's telling you by the number that you put in. So if you want to cap it at 20%, and I think that was the highest I could see this meter go up to. It says you will receive, if you use this number, 20% advertising, you will receive 51 or 56% of the impressions you are entitled to. So the language is even saying you have to advertise to get your impressions, that 50% of your impressions. So I figured at 6.2, it said that it was 50%. If you do it at 2%, I think it's 36% of your entitled impressions. These, they're not page views, but this wheel is telling you that you need to pay this much to get this much of the stuff you would have used to got.
And I see, I have never set up my campaigns that way, so I've never seen that wheel.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, I could try to do it. I could kick us right off the internet if I do, though. I could try. Let me see if I can. I'm going to have a blank expression on my face for a second. Window capture. Add source. Go over here.
Ed, are you talking to me? I'm not sure.
I'm talking to myself. I'm just talking.
To Jet, his comment. Everything is great, Jack.
It's live 3.
The new metric.
Let's see. Selling. Bridget doesn't want me to promote my store. Although that's another thing that that's a big topic of conversation is, should you really show your store on YouTube, for a number of reasons. But James seems to think that it's any looks are good looks. I think so. I don't know.
Wait, when you say share your store, you mean on what? Social media or?
Just show it on YouTube videos. I mean, is that a good idea to really be sort of having it out there? It's out there. You could find me if you wanted to. It's not like.
Oh, that's yeah. I see. I thought you were talking about the promote. You can promote your store and pay eBay that.
Oh yeah, no. I'm probably being confusing because I'm really distracted trying to find the advertising dashboard. And how do you start a new ad? I forget already. Marketing promotions.
What did your friend? What were his sales before? Jed, I'm sorry. I'm my mind is kind of overwhelmed with a lot of stuff. I'm not remembering.
Let me see. I'm trying to. Oh, create a promotion. Okay, I got it. We can go over here and check this out. Okay, go to Chrome.
Yeah, Jack. It's all about good impressions versus bad impressions, and unfortunately, we have no way of knowing where the impressions are coming from, and I don't really trust that the views are actually from people who are always even interested in our stuff.
Yeah, but does that hurt us?
Well, it hurt. I mean, if I had a choice between having my stuff put in front of someone who actually is interested in it versus someone who's not, yeah, it hurts us. I mean, that's what we're paying for, essentially. We're paying it. Well, yeah, that's what we're paying for.
Okay, so I'm going to put this in front of us for a second, just so you can see this. Okay, so create. Whoops, I didn't hear you there.
No, Jack says Canadians start drinking early, so Jeff is a little cloudy right now. I said
it's not even noon yet, is it? It's not even noon yet.
No. Oh, it's noon.
Okay, so here you can see create a promotion, and then I want to do. Wait, what's a promotion? Is this the right thing? I don't want to create a promotion. Why am I? Don't look at my name. I'm showing off. I can't help it though. So marketing, advertising dashboard, right? Then create a new campaign. That's what you're supposed to do. And then once you see this new campaign, you go to a promoted listing standard. Get started. Simple. Here's the wheel. You see this wheel over here?
Oh, remember lag for me.
Right. So give it about another 15 seconds, and you will now see the wheel. But it's over on the right side. It's called a performance wheel. It says it's new. Oh my gosh, I thought of another new thing too. We have so many things to talk about. Probably should save them for another day, but I like talking for some reason. So this performance wheel, which I can't do right now because all my stuff is already on a dynamic ad. I would mess it up and have to redo it all. So you create a dynamic ad rate as opposed to a fixed one. Set your ad rate cap, which I did do at 6.2. Right now I'm testing 2.5 or 2.6. Right, this wheel, once you start choosing items to add to your ad, this wheel starts to go up, and it says, please select your ad rate strategy and listings to populate the impression share estimate. When you do that, a feature that helps you predict.
Do you do your whole store?
Yes. I was keeping some things out, things that I know sell fast, but at 2.6, I'm okay with just doing everything. A feature that helps you predict how likely your ad is to be seen by comparing your ad rate with the maximum number of impressions your ad could have. How do they know how many impressions your ad could have? The higher your ad rate, the higher your likelihood to reach buyers. And then it says, this might not work at all. This is probably a joke. It says that right here. But at some point, maybe they've changed the wording. It said the impressions you're entitled to. says you must advertise to get the impressions you are entitled to.
Hmm.
So I'm going to get rid of that because it's just too much information. Wink. Oh, now here's the back room of the VDO thing that I was working at. Now you can see that. Nobody wants to see that. Wink. Oh, Motorcycle Dork's here. I've been watching your videos. It blows my mind that we spend hours trying to find a solution and things are not just selling on eBay. Yeah.
So true.
I mean, here we are talking now. It's given me something else to do with my life. We can talk. We can talk about eBay more. I would rather be so flush with shipping that I'm just Yosemite Sam running around here cursing and cutting my finger with a tape gun. And I actually look at those days, those halcyon days.
Josh, I know I'm talking to Motorcycle Dork right now. I know somebody who sells auto parts. He is a viewer on my channel, and I'm reaching out. I know that he has pivoted, and I'm trying to see if I can get any information as to how he has pivoted and what he is doing. And if I learn anything, I'll message you on your channel.
Are vehicle parts way down or something? Are they more down than everything else?
He's really struggling, and to be honest with you, I feel like the types of things that he sells, there should be a market for it. It's a very specific niche, and it's things that people need for their vehicles.
I'm guessing motorcycles.
Yeah.
Guessing.
And he has a ton of inventory. He talked about his processes in his last video, and it's downright frustrating, and like it's sad. It's just sad. It's a sad state, and maybe some of it's the economy, but it's not all the economy. It's visibility.
Oh, for sure it is.
Somebody literally paid $100 for a plush today, plus 15 shipping and handling. Come on now. People are still spending money.
Was it solid gold? I mean, what? Yeah.
It was a Karopi, the frog character. It's an awesome plush. It's 30 years old, and it's practically brand new. So it's vintage, but people are still spending money. Like my sales are actually not, like, I'm actually up since last year, which I was shocked when I learned of that, like, because everything feels so doom and gloom. But
I'm up from last year. I'm up 10% over last year.
But I feel like
the numbers
I also a bunch more listings. So I'm, when you list more and your store grows, your earnings should grow.
Should, yeah. But now some people just have a lot more items in their store. That's what that amounts to. But I mean, it's picked up a bit. I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
And so here's one thing that I'd like to talk about that's actually good. That's not all doom and gloom. Here is I've seen a lot of people posted 6 months ago, 3 months ago about eBay social. And they just said, whatever, it's cool, but whatever. It's, it's still work, and I don't really want to do that. Now, this goes both towards if you get good views or bad views. Why is eBay asking you to promote on the social? That would be outside views. That could be bad ones. I mean, why would they want you to promote? I'm not sure they hold against you page views from outside sources, but I don't know. But this thing right here is the social that everyone reported on about 3 months ago. But now look, I have not seen a single eBay video regarding this. I want to create a post, social media, and I go to create it. This has all been on there. People have reported about this and how to use it. Let's say I want to do this superhero book of goodies, whatever that is. And I go next. This is the cool part that wasn't there. See this use AI caption? When I looked at all these videos up to about 2 or 3 months ago, that wasn't there. They said, okay, so now you go to the social. Now you got to type in something here. I don't want to type in something. I don't want to do that. So watch this. Use AI caption. It does it for you. Get ready to travel back in time with this vintage Marvel Comics, the superhero book of goodies #2. Am I right? And I'm not saying it's perfect. It seems like way too many words for a social media post. But look, it is pulling it's saying blah, blah, blah. It's actually putting in the real title. This isn't like using AI to do your item description. This is just for social media. It makes it super, super fast. And they are using your item specifics as hashtags. Am I right?
See, that may be
No?
because I know a lot of my item specifics, when I would sell similar, they're not all perfect. Let me just say that.
I mean, I think it's more important to start being that way. You can do it again and get even, because sometimes I do it a couple times because I want a shorter one. And anything that's vintage, they always say, take a trip down memory lane. So it's not like always really excellent. But let's just say that you decided that all page views are good page views and you did want to promote yourself on social media, it's now you don't even have to write. You just pick the item, use AI caption, and it busts out get your hands on a piece of comic book history. I definitely wouldn't call the superhero book of goodies #2 to be,
Where are you promoting on your social network?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Old School Artifacts on Facebook. You can find me there.
I have an issue with this. I have an issue with eBay even asking me to promote my stuff on my social networks. Like they want us to pay them for them to promote our listings. They should pay us to promote our listings because they're going to benefit. I don't want to send somebody to eBay and then have them go to my listings and then have them go and buy something off of my page off of someone else.
Agreed. I mean, I agree.
Which is more than likely what's going to happen, to be honest with you.
I do believe. Busy Girl down here says they don't do any advertising or radio except for watches and sneakers. I guess that's what I mean. That's why we have to promote because they're not going to do it, even though we're paying for it. So now I'm back into the doom and gloom part.
That's why I want to. That's what I like about District is that if I'm gonna take the time to promote, I would rather promote something that I feel is going to benefit me directly and the community or marketplace that I'm in.
I like the idea. The idea of District is really cool. I don't know how long it's going to take to be of any value to you or anybody else. I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Well, I mean, when I first started on eBay, I just listed a few things every month. And, I don't really think I sold much for the first couple months because I was just doing it to get rid of some of the comics that I didn't want to read anymore or I didn't want to store. And, maybe after a year, I would sell like 1 or 2 things a month. Like, again, I was doing it very it was just very, very part-time. I wasn't. So, yeah, it's going to take some time. But I just don't want to. I don't want to let another year go by and be dealing with the stuff that we're dealing with on eBay. I would rather I still need eBay. I still love the concept of eBay. I love what eBay used to be. I don't know. Just after hearing Josh's synopsis of the call, something just doesn't sit right with me right now. And maybe things will change, but I just don't see eBay being, to me, what I thought it would be for me, 10 years from now, say. I just, things are just, I don't know, things are off.
I think grody is probably the technical term. Things are getting grody. But all new technology spaces, even PayPal. When I first joined PayPal in 99, I guess, when I started doing, well, I don't even think, it wasn't even offered on, I had X.com, which now is back. But PayPal used to be X.com, and they gave you $15 to sign up your friends. I made hundreds and hundreds of dollars signing people up, getting my friends to sign up. And then they lowered it to 10. Then they lowered it to 5. Then they charged 1.5%. Then they charged 2.3%. Then they charged, whatever. So eBay has been around since the 90s, but maybe we're just hitting that part where the getting it onboarded and getting it stable and everything, they gave away a lot, and now we're just getting up to its actual value. Is its value selling things, and I've asked myself this before, if I'm paying 25% overhead selling stuff, I'm doing way better than my bricks and mortar store did, because that's like you're lucky to get 30% out of that. So then the question is what's your cost of goods sold and everything. But it's still a low overhead unless you are renting out, all my stuff's jammed in my store. So since I've had lots of places, warehouses and things, but since I really started to lighten the overhead, everything's in our house. So we basically live in eBay and swim in it.
But here's the thing, though. Josh made it abundantly clear that eBay is drinking the Kool-Aid of promoted listings. Do you think it's going to stop at 20%, though?
No, it can't, because it has to just keep getting worse and worse. For us, it's worse and worse. For them, it's better and better. So unless what else are they going to come up with? That's why they wanted to sell watches and shoes, and they realized that there's way too many other places. There's too much competition in those sectors. That's why they dynamic promoted listing. I mean, they had to come up with other products, right?
I think Jack has had 6 sales since he's been on this call.
Well, damn. Wait, hold on. I know that's fine. I mean,
I've had 2.
Oh wait, what was that? What was that? I have to do this because I really love James, my boring reseller life, and these are the 2 sounds you hear the whole time. Yeah. So I still have to do a sound effect with the tape. For our next one, we'll do that.
How's Spam doing the audio for that?
What's that?
I was watching a video and Spam was doing the noise with imitation.
Yes. It's a bit of a phlegm noise. It's a phlegm release noise. Hey, are we still paying $3 to $4 a gallon for? Oh yeah, of course. No, so good. I mean, this is a point that we have to agree on. The point of the inflationary sticky inflation happened, and then that's just happened.
Yeah, it's a thing. It is a thing. I mean, and look at the fourth quarter we're in. Like it it's not a very merry fourth quarter, but it is what it is. But
we're not totally dead yet. I mean, it was still in the first part of November. I mean, you're going to have to cram a lot of sales. Maybe we'll get so many sales, but everything sort of points to the fact that they're not going to try to overload you. So even if they turned on the spigot, they're going to not do that, because they're like, we can't just give sellers what they deserve, 50 sales a day. I deserve 50 sales a day. I really do deserve that. But could I keep up with that? I don't know. Yes, I would. I'd stay up.
I don't think I would want 50 sales a day. That's the thing, is I don't actually want like I have an idea of what I want to do. Yeah. I don't want to be swamped. That's just me. Like, I'm a minimalist, but
I am definitely an old person. I am a member of AARP. I have slowed down all things. So I figured I retired somewhere. I haven't had a 9-to-5 job since I was 30. So 24 years not working for somebody.
I haven't had one since 27. Since I was 27.
That's awesome. I mean, that's now that is technically retired from the workforce.
Maria says I'm unemployable right now.
I'm unemployable always. I mean, that's basically why I stopped having jobs, because when the time came for me to feel like I just don't want to work today. I can't work today. I'm like Ferris Bueller. It's like it's the blue skies. It's snowy, but it's, you know, yeah. I don't want to go to school, and then I don't, and then they fired you. It's weird. It's weird. Actually, the only firing I got was when I went to go get pizza, and I left the door to the store open, and they got mad at me.
Oh.
Well, I could see the door from the pizza, but still.
So, what are you going to do after nuclear? What's going to be the next step?
Well, let's face it, nuclear seems like it's a test, right? And the test is successful, and the test shows something. There's too many questions about its long-term efficacy. I have no ideas about what. It seems like I'm generating so many sales not through promoted that there would have to be a plug put in. Just me into the whole eBay community. I have no idea, but at it is so effective that I feel like it's gonna explode in my face. So I don't know. I don't know what's next for me, but I guess I'm gonna keep doing it until I run out of. If I list many more things, if I doubled my store, I wouldn't have enough free between the free allotment and the store allotment to do it every day. So maybe I would just do it every, other day, or slow that down a little bit, because it will be interesting to start digressing back down to the regular reset, the non-nuclear version, and, see what happens. But there's no doubting that the nuclear reset, it works insanely well. Might as well just show you one more time since we're already here.
Yeah, and then I got to get going. I gotta do my shipping.
No, we have to talk all day long. Yes, let me show you.
And anybody remember to sub to
Oh,
Primo.
please click that like button and smash the other thing. Well, yeah, subscribe and like, please, if you want to. I don't feel like forcing people to do that, but then again, I totally want to force you to do that. Okay. So here we go. So there is my current nuclear numbers. You can see what really is impressive is when you look at the top search slot impressions are up 96.8%. And here you can see the prior time period. You can see a very well-defined regular reset, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then I've kind of, since October 28th was the beginning of the nuclear reset, where I did half my store, half my store, half my store, half my store. Then on November 1st, I did full store, all the way till now. And you can see how this works. Today is the first day that I lowered. This is 6.5, right? 6.5% ad rate. So this green up here at the top is 6.5% worth of ads, and you can see it's very steady. It's like the same kind of height. My organics are the ones that are way different, and then these darker ones, which are external site views in the real page views. This is page views. If you can't really see that. Those come from Magic Land. That's probably the new eBay Magic. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
Magical innovation.
Magical innovation down here. But you can see that my page views outpace. Well, I guess they're not. It's apples and oranges kind of. But my impressions show lower in comparison to my page views. And you can see right there the little tip of promoted listings. And I think I did do it yesterday too. So my promoted went way down, and now it's just a little tip. Hasn't really stopped the page views from coming in at all. So, wow. But again, look at these numbers and just go, this just doesn't make sense. My organic impressions are up 85%. Promoted impressions are still at 5.2. Top search up 96. The rest of search slot 99. Does it even go higher than that? You can't go higher than that. Well, actually, you can. I think that said 105% yesterday.
I would love to know where these stats come from, where the views are coming from.
These dark ones, yeah, the external site views. Now they could be coming from my Facebook page. They could be coming from those AI social posts. I doubt that.
How often do you do the social stuff, the social sharing?
Never. I did one yesterday though. I've done 2. I've done a total of 2 with that AI. And I'm the kind of person that lets. Oh well, here's my sales. You can see my sales too. So I'm still having holes in sales. But if you're looking at this, this is the regular reset, I guess, right here. And this is the nuclear reset. So, and the items that I'm selling are enough to raise my total revenue, up by 10, 20%. I don't know. I haven't really looked at that to define it, but it's up. And today it says 11%. Yesterday it said, whatever, 9. But yeah. So with that said, we've talked about a lot of things. Is that the plush that you sold behind you now, peeking at you?
No, I'm going to be listing that one. That's Doraemon.
She's staring at you.
Yeah, he's
a man.
My
Okay. Sorry.
Primo angel.
Oh, precious. Do you have any animals?
Not currently.
You had a doggy though that you loved.
Chocolate Lab passed away in January. Yeah.
Those dogs. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us. We have 17 viewers right now.
We're on a high note. I think 17 is the most that we've had in here.
That absolutely is. And I'm in Vermont, April. So thank you very much, Jeff, HayfroSells. And we will... Everybody... Oh, you go ahead. I was talking over you.
Oh, I was just thanking everybody who chose to spend some time with us today. Is awesome. Primo and I plan on doing, maybe one of these once a week for the foreseeable future if he's up for it, and just kind of play, chill, and hang out, and hopefully get you guys some sales.
That would be my goal, and I think that we can provide some value, if not just talk for an hour, keep you company. So thank you guys very much, and